Hello, everybody. My name's DJ Craig. Welcome to my channel. If you are here because of Into the Woods, the musical, which I've gotten a lot of comments about that, and I love that musical, and I'm so happy I was able to share it with you all. Or if you're here because of the Murder She Wrote podcast, or my little reviews for Little House on the Prairie, thanks for all my subscribers. I am going to be doing a spoiler review of Indiana Jones, the new Indiana Jones film, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which I have just saw tonight at the movie theater, and I got a lot to say. First off, for those of you who might not know about Indiana Jones, he is played by Harrison Ford, who has been in such uh, popular films as the Star Wars franchise and various others. And the first was Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. And Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which everyone said that Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was bad. But honestly, in my opinion, I liked it. I mean, there are a couple reasons why a lot of people do not like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. One of the most two popular opinions of why it was not good was probably, Shia LaBeouf right there is one of the main things. And another main thing is the alien aspect. Oh, and that he survived a nuclear blast in a refrigerator. But hey, people, it's the movie. Suspend your disbelief. Um, I saw this one in theaters in 2008 with my dad. I remember when it came out, and I remember enjoying it and really liking it. And as a kid, I liked the original trilogy, and I still do. It holds up, like really and truly it does. So there's not been a lot of like movies in theaters that I've wanted to go and pay money to go see, but this is like the first time in a long time that I've gone to the movies. The last time I went to the movies was in 2018, and I saw Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. Like my shirt, it says ET. I got it from my local mall for like $20. It was on sale. I love it. Anyway, um, so I kind of was going in blind. Like, I did not want to look up any reviews on YouTube, and anything that popped up was not good. So it was like I avoided them at all possible because I was like, I want to go in blind. I want to form my own opinion of this movie, and I don't want any other person's opinion to influence me. I tried to stay away from spoilers, tried to stay away from who was involved in it, with the exception of Harrison Ford. This movie was announced, I believe, last year, and Indiana Jones himself, right there, was put on Fortnite, which was freaking cool. I absolutely love that. Um, so, and spoilers, spoilers throughout, because I'm going to spoil the hell out of this thing because I got a lot that I want to say. So, when I found out that Steven Spielberg was not directing this and George Lucas did not write it, I was kind of like, oh no, this is not going to be good. But again, I was like, I really want to go to the movies and I really want to see this movie. So I did. And honestly, I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, but also to be kind of bad. And I'm going to explain. There are good things. Harrison Ford is at the top of his freaking game. I would give the dude an Academy Award. I know that he's played this role 4 other times, but and I don't know if there are rules, but he deserves like an honorary Oscar, in my opinion. The things that this guy has done in these films is just simply incredible. The fact that he's done all these stunts himself over the years. The first Indiana Jones came out in 1981, and the one before this one came out in 2008. This dude has been like putting his work in, okay? So that's one highlight is Harrison Ford. It was so great to see Harrison Ford. It was so great to see Marion, his girlfriend in the first movie. It was great to see his little funny sidekick. I can't pronounce his name, but you all know, Indiana Jones film knows. I was hoping that Short Round would make some surprise cameo somewhere. He appeared in Temple of Doom, but unfortunately he did not appear in this movie, which I was kind of like, man, you missed an opportunity. But here is something that I did not know, and researching for this review before, I just got home, I decided to like learn everything I could about this film because I was so curious about it. Disney apparently has acquired George Lucas's film company, which is how they own Star Wars, and Fox. So they have now acquired the rights to Indiana Jones. Oh dear God. Disney, please, for the love of God, leave this alone. Just let it end at Dial of Destiny and do not do any other fucking films, okay? With this franchise. Don't have someone else come in, like, do, like, younger Indiana Jones or any of that shit. We do not need it. We do not need it. That's all I'm saying on that. So, pretty much, like, another highlight is the first 20 minutes of the film is set in 1944, and again, we're dealing with Nazis. We were dealing with Nazis in Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1981, and honestly, you guys, I am so sick and tired of the Nazi thing. Like, please, for the love of God, stop with the Nazis. We've really gone really too far with this plot, but they did a really good job of making it feel like it was 1944. A lot of people criticized the CGI that they used to de-age Mr. Harrison Ford, but honestly, that's what he would have looked like. I'm assuming, because I don't know exactly how, like, what year Indiana Jones is supposed to have been born. I'm not going to look it up because, I kind of want that to be a surprise. I don't need to know when he was born. I'm just glad he exists. And I know he's not a real person, but to put it into to put it into perspective as to why I love Indiana Jones is because I loved learning about history when I was growing up, and Indiana Jones does a lot of things with history and made me feel like I was not alone in that regard. Okay, so another highlight would be that the film is set in 1969. I automatically knew this because of the the moon landing was being talked about. And I knew that they landed on the moon in 1969. The person who was sitting next to me did not know. But we're not gonna criticize them. But it felt authentically this time period. It felt really authentically. They did a fantastic job of making it feel like that's where we were. The parade and everything that was going on in the film felt like it was from that time period. In every single film, every single Indiana Jones film, whatever time it's supposed to be set in, it feels like that time period. I just want to make that abundantly clear. The plot, however, honestly is kind of very confusing. And in Indiana Jones, like, in the first three films, it seemed like there was a rhyme and a reason as to why Indiana Jones was after the things he was after. You know, the Nazis were after the Ark of Covenant, which held the Ten Commandments in some sort of unforeseen power. And Indiana Jones wanted to get it to put it into a museum before anyone else could use it for their own advantage. Indiana Jones is at best a professor and a curator at a museum, and he cares about history. He doesn't want to sell history. He doesn't want to, you know, popularize it or anything like that. There was a rhyme and a reason for every single thing that he did. Um, Although it escapes me, like, exactly what his purpose was in Temple of Doom or Last Crusade. I know I keep saying that wrong, but I don't know how to say it right. I'm sorry. When I was a kid, I had a speech impediment. Okay, so bear with me. In Kingdom of Crystal Skull, um, they had to return the Crystal Skull to these other Crystal Skull people who were aliens, and I didn't understand that. It was like it seemed to have lost something in translation there, but there doesn't seem to be a valid reason for Indy to be risking his life for this. And when the movie starts, it makes like it is so cool. It feels like authentic Indiana Jones. The title card feels like Indiana Jones. Like, but I don't know what he was there for because it's like each film, like Raiders of the Lost Ark was set around World War II, and this seems to be around World War II as well. So it's like, does this go into the timeline? Is this like a direct sequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark? Because that took place during World War II, and it's like, is this after the weird Nazis melted that India is now for some reason in this setting here? I don't know. It was never explained. Then the big guy, the bad guy of the film, I don't know his name. Um, he goes by Dr. Smith in later in the film, but like his German name, I cannot pronounce it. I'm sorry, but they're saying that Hitler wants this dagger that allegedly like cut the the flesh of Jesus, and I really like I did not understand that part. I was like, what? Why does he want that? And the main big guy is like, he's lost it. I have this dial of destiny thing that is going to help us far better than that thing. And the thing that they end up getting is fake. So it's not even a real, like the real sword that apparently cut Jesus when he was on the cross, which I don't know why anyone would want that or how it managed to survive after all these years. So I really don't understand why Indy is being interrogated by the Nazis. I don't know why he's there, what he's looking for. If that's what he's looking for, I'm not entirely sure. He has a partner, that little English dude who seems to be in everything, is in a small role, like Toby something is his name in real life, but he plays the role of Basil in here. Um, and he gets taken on a train, and for some reason Indiana Jones gets on this train, and I don't understand why he gets on the train. Like, what are you after, dude? But there was this fantastic moment where, like, the war is ending, and they're like, there's planes overhead, and they're throwing like bombs, and this comes through this, like, where Indy is like being about to be hanged, and it comes down, and slowly lands on this piece of carpet and slowly swirls around and around and around, and then boom! Fantastic. Fantastic. So, big bad dude basically, is like the dial of destiny would be better for Hitler, you know, and like they fight on this train, and I'm thinking the dude freaking died because he got hit by something. But there's no evidence that he got hit by it later in the freaking film. And then they beat the Nazis on the train. Everything's good, and Indy has the dial of destiny. And then we flash forward to 1969. And I was like, okay, you're not going to tell us why they were there, what they were looking for, what has been happening since then, because Kingdom of Crystal Skull took place in, I want to say, 1956. That was 1944. 81, I think, was supposed to be 1941 or 42. Temple of Doom was before that, and the last Indiana Jones 1989 one was Sean Connery. Before Kingdom of Crystal Skull, I don't know when that's supposed to be set because I can't remember. But it's like they don't explain why he was there, what they were after, anything. We just flash cut to 1969. Indiana Jones is like this old dude, like, turn your music down because they're partying because it's going to be Moon Day. And we find out that Indiana Jones is retiring. Okay, so I don't know how long he's been working at the university, but in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, he was fired. So, and we find out in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull that him and Marion had a child named Mutt, or Mud for short, played in the film by Shia LaBeouf. The reason why people don't like that Shia LaBeouf being in Kingdom of Crystal Skull, because it was kind of set up like he was going to be the next Indiana Jones. And when it seemed like the studio was leaning towards that, he apparently spoke out and said some things he shouldn't have said. I don't know what he said, ain't gonna comment on it, but just figured I'd put that in perspective for you. So anyway, don't know why Indiana Jones kept this dial of destiny thing, because it just is not explained. So he has his last day of retirement, his last lecture. Everybody's more concerned about the moon landing, not listening to him. He has a retirement party. And this random girl is like sitting in his class and answering questions for him. And it turns out that she is Wombat. She is Basil's daughter. And Indy is her granddaughter. I mean, no, Indy is her godfather, not her grandfather. Sorry about that. But she has come to get the dial of destiny from Indy. And we think that this girl is, you know, trying to um we think that she's trying to like explore it, like, because it seemed like her father cared about history and artifacts and stuff like that, like Indiana Jones. No, she wants to sell it. Then it's revealed that big bad German dude has managed to live after getting hit by something on the train. I mean, he looked like he was freaking dead. But he has somehow become part of the space program and he's responsible for people going into space to the moon. That was very confusing too. I was like, what? How? How? And is that true? Like, I don't think so. And it seems like a big deal. There is this really beautiful black woman following um, Basil's daughter around, and she immediately realizes that one of the dudes is trigger happy because there's this one guy going through Indy's desk, and she realizes something's not right, and he shoots her. Then a guy comes to see if she's okay, and he shoots her. I mean, shoots him. So now they got a huge problem, and these guys are after her. But how did they know? Like, this German big bad guy has been looking for this thing since 1944 because it might have the ability to go back in time. But they're not entirely 110% sure exactly how this works. And apparently it has something to do with mathematics, which you done lost me at that point. So that part just went over my head. I'm not good at math. I can add and subtract, but that's about it. When anything else above that is very confusing to me. So apparently this was made by some man named Achilles, and it's very important. And even though in all the previous films, for me, it feels like it takes a while for Indiana Jones to find stuff. This movie was like, nope, we ain't got no time for that. He's just gonna find it. It's gonna be so freaking easy that if I went on the quest, I could find it myself. But you can tell there were 4 writers on this thing because they clearly do not know what to do with Shaw's daughter's character. She is horrible, absolutely horrible. She basically brings Indy into this. He's just retired from the university where he has taught for years. Um, he's now been framed for murder, and she was just gonna run off and leave him. And he realizes, I've been framed for murder. I gotta go find this girl because they're gonna think that I murdered these people, which is the reason why he goes after her. And it's never brought up again. The other thing um, is like how quickly they go from one foreign country to the next, and how fast the big annoying big bad German dude seems to know exactly where they're going beforehand, and how like her like Shaw's daughter doesn't seem to like keeps going back and forth between being good and a thief. Well, they go to this other foreign country, I don't know where it is, and she decides she's gonna sell this to random people who have no idea what it is. Indiana Jones is able to arrive at exactly the same moment that she goes into this restaurant to sell this thing. We get introduced to a kid named Teddy. I think his name is Teddy. And Indiana Jones just bars his way into this place and doesn't want to sell it. And then Big Bad German Guy is like suddenly there too. Like, I'm like, how the hell did you all get there at the same time? That is not how air travel works. Um, so they all get there, and she's trying to sell it. Indiana Jones is like, no, you're not. I want it back. It's mine. I was supposed to destroy it. And they realize that something's up with the big bad German guy. So before he arrives there, they're like, they don't want you around no more. And I really wanted the the beautiful black woman to have like a wonderful like character arc because she seemed so freaking cool. You know? She looked like she was from 1969. She was fantastic. Like, why didn't you let her do stuff? And but they just don't. Like, they kill everybody on the plane, and then they arrive in this country at exactly the same place that Indy and Shaw's daughter is. Like, how the hell did you get there so fast? How did you even know they were there? So many plot holes. So they end up getting the Dial of Destiny. There's a funny scene where Indy, like, just has a bullwhip. He doesn't have a gun. And then they all point their gun at him. I thought that was funny. Then they get out of there, they go into this cart, and then it turns out that this woman, Shaw's daughter, was like married to some guy. Yeah, this goes nowhere. He tries to chase after her and says that his father told him to come after her to cut her head off. This doesn't go nowhere. Why was this even added? It makes absolutely no freaking sense to me. Like, I was sitting there like, wait a minute. What? So you have the ill-fated fiance chasing after her because he wants to cut her head off. You have big bad German dude and his cohorts chasing after them. You have Indy in the middle of all of this, not knowing what the hell he's supposed to be doing. And even at this point, me, the audience member, is like, what the hell is he? Like, what is he supposed to be doing? Like, I cannot count how many times they fell off the cart, got back on the cart. You know, she tries to grab the Dial of Destiny by, like, strangling big bad German guy, and she doesn't get it. And it's like, they eventually get it, and Indy's like, you need me, because we're going to go get the other half so I can put it in a museum. Okay. And I know this guy on a boat, and you don't have a boat. And, because, I don't know. So they get in this car, and they go to the next place, and Antonio Banderas just randomly shows up and knows Indy, and Indy reveals, spoiler, that Mutt died in the Vietnam War, played by Shia LaBeouf. He died. And him and Marion, they got married at the end of Kingdom of Crystal Skull, are in the early stages of getting a divorce. So Indiana Jones is kind of depressed and is not at the top of his game right now. But, you know, he's really sad, and that's okay. So they miraculously, and when I say miraculously, they find the ship that supposedly this guy who created the Dial fell down in and died. And they're able to literally dive from Antonio Banderas' ship into the water, which I guess is not that thick, because they're able to dive and hit the bottom like that. And they literally swim into the boat. They find the boat. It's like right there. Like I said, makes it easy. It's like, it's not hard to find. It's like right there. You know? Almost like diving to the Titanic. Boom. But oh, kidding. Just kidding. I mean, it's like right there. They go down, they swim into the boat. Like, Antonio Banderas is like, don't cross the wires so that we can get back up and we don't get tangled, and we're only going to be down here for 3 minutes. They go underneath the ship. Literally, they go in one compartment and boom, there it is. There's a box. And it's the one box they need. And then, miracles of miracles, coincidences of coincidences, because do not freaking ask me how. But big bad German dude shows up and basically reveals, yep, I used to be a Nazi. Surprise. Not me, because I knew that. But they bring this thing up, and it's literally the thing they need. You know, it's not like, oops, wrong box. We gotta go back down and get it and look for another box. And eels, like, try to attack Indy, and it was a terrible scene. It was just terrible, but also awesome. So, like, so at this point, like, we don't know if Shaw's daughter is, like, evil or good or whatever, she starts randomly translating this like square thing that they found in the shipwreck, and she tells them exactly where to go. And but then we find out she's got a stick of dynamite in her pocket. So she's gonna like destroy them. And even though like Indy has like no personal stake in this whatsoever, he's like, yeah, let's go. And they get in the boat, they blow up the boat, they kill Antonio Banderas. Boo. And they get into the boat that the bad guys brought with them, and then they just sail to the place. And again, there are no obstacles. In the trailer, there apparently was a scene that was cut out where there was a rolling boulder, like in Indiana Jones in the last Lost Ark in the first one. But it was not in the actual movie because I saw it and it was not there. But there are no obstacles in their way. They can just walk into this fucking like cave and go right in. There are no obstacles. And there was this really dumb part where Indiana Jones is like, keep saying stuff. There's a huge echo. Keep echoing. So they're like, la 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 la. And then, miracle of miracles. Like the thing that they found was made of wax. So they set it on fire. And it turns out to be like this sundial thing for like the goddess of war or something. So then they come into her cave, and Indy's like sees a pool of water, and there's like for some reason there's sulfur, and he's like, throw this stuff in, disillusion, and then the thing falls open and they fall down, and and then they miraculously end up in the dude's tomb and find the other half of the dial. I'm like, what the fuck? How? Has anyone tried to find this before? Like, why was this so easy? And then they find that there's like a watch on this dude's corpse, but watches did not exist where he was from. Okay? And then, like, because they kidnapped the little kid, Teddy, and then, miraculously, don't ask me how. Seriously, don't. Big bad German dude is right there. Is able to, like, go to the same spot, is able to find it without no consequences whatsoever, and is there and literally takes the damn dial and then reveals what his plans are. And he shoots Indiana Jones. Are you freaking kidding me? And then he reveals his plans. He wants to go back in time to 1939 and kill Hitler himself so that the Nazis can win the World War II. What the fuck? Like, I'm sorry, but doesn't Hitler kill himself? I don't understand. Wait a minute. I think I do now. They want to assassinate him in 1939, and then this German dude wants to take over so they'll win the war. But still, it's stupid. It's dumb. I did not like it. I was like, what the hell? What? 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 Okay. So they shoot Andy, and for some reason, do not ask me why. At this point, they don't need him. He's not important to the plan. I don't understand why he is there. They put him on the plane. Shaw's daughter then decides to actually act like a human being, and she wants to save Indy. So she manages somehow to get on the plane due to its landing gear. I don't know, is that possible? I don't think that's possible. And the little kid, Teddy, is able to hotwire a plane. Can you hotwire a plane? I don't think so. So his plan is to literally go back in time to assassinate Hitler so they can win World War II. But the problem is the dial. you cannot make it actually go where you want it to go. And they end up going through a time vortex in the sky. I'm not joking. And they end up going back in time not to not to 1923, but they go to 212 BC at the siege of Syracuse, a huge Roman battle. Okay? And apparently he rigged it that way. Like, for people to come from the future. And the watch that he had in his tomb was Indy's watch. Because Indy gives him his watch. Or he takes a watch off a big bad German dude who ends up friggin' dying in a plane. Because at first, what I thought was, like, from, like, when they first go through the time vortex, I was like, are we in Pearl Harbor? No. They were shooting arrows and they thought the airplanes were dragons. Yeah. Indy wants to stay in 212 BC, but Shaw's daughter punches him and takes him back. And I guess the murder charge was cleared, and Indy and Marion end up living happily ever after, I guess. Like, what was the point? What was the point of this dude creating this dial of destiny where you can go back in time, but the only place you can go back in time is when he's fighting a huge, horrible battle where you could die? Also, what was the point of Shaw's daughter? Like, and then what was the point? I don't know. But I did love the action scenes. I thought that it was great. It felt authentically like Indiana Jones. For the love of God, please don't make any more films. Do I regret going? No. No, I don't regret going. I loved it. I enjoyed every minute of it. But I just cannot get over the plot holes, the let's go back in time, the Nazi thing. I'm just so over the Nazi thing. I'm so over Nazis in general. You know, when I learned about the Holocaust in school, I was like, oh my God, how in the hell could anyone do such cruel things to other human beings? And honestly, I do not understand the fascination of putting them in Indiana Jones films. I just don't get it. And why the hell would Hitler want the Ark of Covenant? Why the hell would Hitler want a knife that Jesus was cut with? I just don't understand that. But overall, I think if you loved this film and had a love-hate relationship with this one, you will possibly like this one. And please, for the love of God, Disney, do not make any other films. Do not have someone younger play Indiana Jones. We already had Young Indiana Jones, which is on Disney Plus, which I intend to watch soon. But overall, I liked it. For the most part. I just don't think that the time travel thing should have been a thing. I don't think the Nazis should have been a thing. I think there could have been a really great adventure without those elements. And I really would like to know what the hell Indiana Jones was going after in 1944. But I guess we'll never know. But Disney, for the love of God, please do not make any more Indiana Jones films. Just because you have it does not mean that you should. You know? You're so preoccupied that you could. You never thought. But should you? Should you do it? But I think it's almost on its way out of theaters soon. I hope I didn't spoil too much here for you, but honestly, if you are a huge Indiana Jones film like me, because, you know, I got this, and this has, like, awesome bonus features. It was so freaking cool. And this as well. I mean, I love it. So obviously I'm a huge Indiana Jones film fan. And if you are too, you might enjoy it. But just know that you're gonna walk out of the theater being very confused, because I sure the hell was. But overall, I liked it, and I just wanted to say what my opinion was. I hope you enjoy this video. Like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of the new Indiana Jones film. And if you want to see me review other films on my channel, thank you so much. And I'm going to end it here. Peace. And remember, before I go, we're talking about the movie. We're not criticizing my appearance. And also, this is my opinion. It does not have to be your opinion. You can agree with me. You can disagree. Let's just all be kind to one another. Alright, peace out. And this film made me appreciate these films so much more. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye!